This is the best Titan loot Zer's had in weeks. You need to grab it before it's too late. Yes, he's got the classic exotic items again. Okay, he's got the Wardcliff Coil Catalyst. Improved tracking on projectiles. I don't think it's meta at the moment, so I'm not going to worry about this catalyst. We got the Bad Juju. Extends the duration of String of Curses. Okay, I do have this weapon and I've used it for a couple of nightfalls, so it's not the worst. You know what? This is worth picking up if you don't have it already. I think this catalyst is actually useful compared to some other ones in the game. Okay, so yeah, I would pick this one up definitely. All right, he's got Warm Husk Crown. Okay, for us Titans, he's got Mark 44 stand-asides. Safer shoulder charge abilities. These aren't great, especially not with the 26 in mobility. That is not what we need. Pretty much no resilience, no strength. This is terrible. So I wouldn't waste my strange coins on this week. He's got Storm Dancer's Brace for the Warlocks. And he's got the exotic class items again. Awesome, okay. So from the strange offerings that he's got right here, I would pick up the Bad Juju Catalyst. And of course, spend as many coins as you can on the exotic class item. Okay, let's take a look to see what else he's offering this week. Hawkmoon, as always. I'm not a big fan of hand cannons, but if you are, this one's a good one to pick up. What does it have? Moving target. That's more of a PvP type perk. Smooth grip. You know what? These two perks are not bad if you're a PvP player. I would go ahead and pick this one up this week. Okay, he's got Sweet Business, larger magazine, increased accuracy when firing from the hip. Picking up special or heavy ammo immediately reloads this weapon. You know, that's actually a pretty good perk. Of course, we have those auto rifle perks that just released, was it a couple weeks ago now, on the seasonal artifact, so I would go ahead and pick this one up. This has sustained fire boosts range and rate of fire, increased stability, slightly increases handling speed. Okay, I would definitely pick this one up. This is a good auto rifle to have this season. We have Sunshot, explosive rounds, highlights targets. So another hand cannon this week. Of course, it has Sunblast, targets defeated with Sunshot explode in solar energy, scorching other nearby targets. Greatly increases handling speed, slightly decreases stability. Sunburn, this weapon fires explosive rounds and highlights targets that take damage from Sunshot. So this is a good PvE weapon, especially if you're going for a solar build. So I would definitely pick up the Sunshot if you don't have it already. And he's got Two-Tailed Fox. He had this last week as well. So yeah, if you didn't pick up this rocket launcher last week, I would go ahead and pick it up this week. It's pretty good. It has a Void and Solar rocket that shoots out of it. They do damage over time, and if you get the catalyst, it shoots out a arc damage rocket as well that jolts the enemies. So this is pretty decent. It's not meta right now. There's not like a really strong build that this weapon is used in, but in general, I would go ahead and pick this one up. Okay, legendary weapons. We got the Death Adder SMG with Mulligan and Dragonfly. Okay. Missing a shot has a chance to return ammo directly to the magazine, and Dragonfly precision kills create an elemental damage explosion. Anytime you have Dragonfly as a perk, it's worth considering whether you want this weapon or not. I would pick it up because I love solar weapon. I like making solar builds for my Titan. This one has increased stability, so you probably won't be missing too many shots, but the ones that you do will go back to your magazine, so that's pretty good. I would probably go with Hammer Forged Rifling here. I would go with the Alloy magazine. Pick up Death Adder this week. This is a strong gun for solar builds. Okay, we got the Friction Fire, another SMG with Subsistence. Defeating targets partially reloads a magazine from reserves. Slideways. Sliding partially reloads this weapon's magazine and temporarily boosts handling and stability. You know what? You don't really want slideways on SMGs, so go ahead and pass on that one for this week. You don't really need this weapon here. The Deicide Shotgun, Lead from Gold, and Wellspring. Those are pretty good PvE perks. Let's go ahead and take a look. Picking up heavy ammo also grants ammo to this weapon, which is really nice. And of course, Wellspring kills with this weapon generate ability energy. This energy is divided between your uncharged abilities. And let's see, the Masterwork is handling, which is alright for shotguns. It's not the best. Maybe range would have been better or something like that. Smooth bore on the shotgun is pretty good. Extended mag size, increased magazine and reload speed increases airborne effectiveness. Or you go light mag, increases reload speed, slightly increases range. So yeah, I would pick up the shotgun. I would put smooth bore on it with the light magazine for the increased reload speed and increased range. And then yeah, these two perks are pretty good for PvE. If you don't have a void type shotgun, I would go ahead and pick this one up. Alright, moving on. Stochastic Variable SMG. Man, we got 3 SMGs this week. Bungie going hard on those. Okay, so this one has Zen Moment. Causing damage with this weapon reduces recoil and flinch over time. It's a very strong PvP perk. And then Dragonfly. Precision kills create an elemental damage explosion. So I talked about Dragonfly earlier when I was talking about the Death Adder. And so this is a really good perk for PvE. And this one has some synergy with Zen Moment since this helps reduce your recoil and flinch over time. This will help you get those precision hits and kills to activate your Dragonfly. And it's got good handling. So you know what? If you don't have an ARC SMG, especially one that has Dragonfly, go ahead and pick this one up. I would take this weapon with... You know what? This is interesting because I would take Corkscrew Rifling on this weapon. And then, honestly, it'd be preference. I would go Ricochet Rounds for the increased stability and increase in range to help me get those precision kills in order to activate Dragonfly. But you could also take Phase Magazine, which will increase the damage this weapon outputs, but you'll have a slower rate of firing and you'll have a smaller magazine size. But at the same time, if you're hitting harder, you need less precision hits in order to activate Dragonfly. So you know what? I would mess around to see which one of these you're more comfortable with. If you want more stability and more range, obviously Ricochet Rounds. But if you just want harder hitting rounds in order to pop Dragonfly more often, Phase Magazine may be the way to go. So I would mess around with these two and see which one feels better for you. But definitely pick up Stochastic Variable this week. Okay, we got the Husgao Rocket Launcher, Threat Detector, and Rangefinder. That's not really something that you want to take. Increases reload stability and handling when enemies are in close proximity. You don't really want enemies to be right up on top of you when you have a rocket launcher, so this does nothing for you. Rangefinder, aiming this weapon increases its effective range and zoom magnification. Increased projectile velocity while aiming rocket launchers, which is what we got here. So Rangefinder isn't the worst on rocket launchers, but the combination of that plus Threat Detector, no thanks. You can go ahead and save your strange coins, don't buy the Husgao. Blast Batu, not sure how to pronounce that, but we got this grenade launcher with Clown, Cartridge, and Wellspring. Let's take a look. Reloading this weapon randomly overfills it from reserves. Wellspring, kills with this weapon generate ability energy. This energy is divided between your uncharged abilities. And we got Blast Radius. So in general, I would say you don't really want to take a grenade launcher to clear ads, but the fact that you get your ability regen on kills and that you overfill your magazine when reloading your weapon from reserves is pretty good, especially if you go alloy casing, because it greatly increases your reload speed. So basically you can spend your whole magazine, reload faster than what you would normally do, and on top of that you have a blast radius masterwork. So you know what, I would go ahead and pick this one up. This is not bad, especially if you have an arc build in mind. Okay, and lastly for the Titan, we've got the Crown Splitter with Flash Counter Whirlwind Blade. You know what, I know the majority of people would say don't take it because flash counter isn't great, especially compared to something like Relentless Strikes, which will give you sword ammo back. But if you have a stronghold build and you have a boss that does a lot of melees that are well telegraphed, flash counter is actually really good because this will weaken them, and it's a 20% weaken, so they'll take an additional 20% damage from you as opposed to the regular type weaken, which is only 15%. Plus you have Whirlwind Blade here, which is pretty much the best damage roll that you can get for this weapon. The only thing you want to be careful of is if you block while you're stacking Whirlwind Blade, it'll end the effect. So you want to use Flash Counter first to weaken the enemy. You get that 20% damage buff, and then you go to town with Whirlwind Blade. And you don't really want to guard again for another 5 seconds to be safe, because I believe this lasts 4 seconds, so you want to make sure you get as many stacks of this as you can before you can weaken them again. But this combination is pretty interesting for melee bosses. I would go ahead and pick this one up if you don't have it already. The only thing that could have been better is if this rolls with Jagged Edge, which it does not, unfortunately. So Tempered Edge is going to be the way to go, and Impact Masterwork, of course, backup magazine for more sword ammo. So yeah, this is actually surprisingly a good sword. I would take this. And then Xur is offering the Simulator Armor this week, so let's take a look at the stats. Resilience 25, really good, but Strength is not really high enough, so I would avoid this one. The chest piece is going to be 18 mobility. Nope, that's already way too much. That's not going to work for Titans. Nope. 14 mobility, 20 intellect. Not really what you're looking for. All right, so the simulator helm. Nope. Way too much mobility and intellect. We do not need that for Titans. And lastly, we have the Greaves, which have 16 mobility, 16 resilience, 15 strength. You know what? The spikes could be much better for resilience and strength, but 16 and 15 is not bad. If you don't have better stats on your boots currently, I would go ahead and pick up these Simulator Greaves. And we'll just take a look here. Style-wise, I probably wouldn't want to pick up this set. At least not the helmet. You know what? Chest piece is pretty good looking. I would probably take this one. That's not bad. Gauntlets. Gauntlets are not particularly my style, so I wouldn't pick those up for looks. And let's see, the Greaves, the leg armor. Yeah, that's not bad. I would pick these up also for fashion purposes. So overall, as far as the armor goes, I would only pick up the Greaves if you want some decent stats and you don't have something that's currently better. But fashion-wise, the chest piece and the leg armor are both pretty good looking, so I would pick those up as well. Let's go ahead and pick up our exotic cipher. All right, I scrounged up a few strange coins. Let's see what we can come up with. Here we go. Let's check it out. Ophidian Armamentarium. That is not great. I really have a better Armamentarium roll, so I'm going to go ahead and dismantle this. No thank you, sir. And we'll try again later on this weekend. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today. Oh, let me pick up this exotic engram. So that's going to do it. Yeah, go ahead and pick up the bad juju. Pick up as many exotic class items as you can. Some of these weapons that I went over are really good. Pick those up. And then go ahead and pick up these leg armor pieces as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon.